Hi, today's video I'm going to call No More Dominoes. This is all about making tasty, delicious, homemade pizzas from very simple ingredients. You're going to need plain strong white flour, salt and semolina. The semolina is optional, you don't have to use it, but I find it makes the texture of the base of the pizza better. And your water and your yeast. Quantities: you need 400 grams of flour with 100 grams of semolina, or use 500 grams just of flour. You need 10 grams of salt, 350 mils of warm water with 5 grams of yeast dissolved into it if you're using instant yeast or dried yeast, sorry. So already in my bowl today I have put my flour and my semolina. To that I will add my salt, and then I will mix in my water and yeast. With your bread scraper, combine all of the ingredients together. When you've done that, tip the dough onto your worktop or work surface. Now what you're going to do is the folding method that we used before. So take your dough and you're going to get your hands underneath it, flip it over and fold it. This is a strange technique to start with, but you'll soon get the hang of it. Underneath, slam your dough down, fold it over. Okay, underneath, slam it down and fold on top. As you do this, you will feel the dough start to change and to become a little less sticky. You're going to need to do this for 2 or 3 minutes until you feel the dough start to change. You might find this quite awkward to do to begin with, but it will soon become like riding a bike. So stretch, fold over. The more you can actually stretch the dough, the better. You need to keep doing this. It will depend how quickly you can do it, but you need to keep doing this until the dough starts, you'll see, starts to become a little drier, a little easier to handle. If your dough starts to stick to your work surface, add a little bit of flour, not too much, and keep going. So eventually, as you can see, my dough's smoother. So then you want to turn the dough over, fold into the centre so you're making a nice round ball like that. And then you are going to plop your dough back into your bowl like that, and you're going to leave for 1 hour, and then it will be ready to start making pizzas. And don't forget to cover your dough while it's resting with a shower cap or a tea towel and put it into a nice warm space. When it's finished resting, it should be roughly doubled in size. Right, after an hour, your dough should look something like that. It does not matter if you need to leave it longer than an hour, it will be absolutely fine. So turn your dough out onto your work surface. The size of the pizza and the toppings that you put onto it are entirely up to you. Cut off a piece of the dough and I'm going to roll it out a thickness, size, your decision. The addition of the semolina helps the dough be a little bit more pliable rather than just using all flour, which is why I add it. Okay, so roll it out to any shape you like, rectangle, heart, and then what you want is a piece of baking paper on a baking tray. Put it onto the baking paper before you add your toppings. I'm using passata. You can use tinned tomatoes, but make sure you just drain some of the excess liquid off them. You don't need lots. Just spread it around your pizza top. But again, it's all preference as to how you like it. Okay, cheese-wise, you can use a selection of cheeses, whatever you fancy. Obviously, mozzarella is a traditional cheese topping. So I'm just putting some of that broken up or sliced onto the top. I'm then adding a bit of Gruyere cheese because we like it. It's nice flavour. And then again, Parmesan, which is very traditional as a topping on pizzas. Then today I'm putting some sweet corn on. You can add mushrooms, onions, whatever you fancy on top of a pizza, just do it. There we go. And then herbs, a bit of basil, which I'm just tearing up onto the top. And then today I'm using a scattering of oregano, or oregano as they call it in the States. And then finally, I like to give my pizza a drizzle of olive oil. A little bit of a scattering of sea salt. Make sure you use good quality salt. And a grinding of black pepper. And then your pizza is ready to put into a hot oven. If you have a pizza stone, fantastic, put it into the oven and heat it up. If you don't have a pizza stone, put a baking tray in there to get nice and hot, because you're going to transfer your baking paper onto your baking stone or your baking tray so that it makes your pizza nice and crisp. So pop it in the oven and cook for approximately 12 to 15 minutes, but keep an eye on it. As an alternative to pizza, or as well as, when you've made your dough, one of the things we love to make is just some straightforward garlic bread, or a garlic pizza base, I suppose. So here I've got roughly 50 grams of butter, depends how much you're making, a clove or two of garlic, depending on how much you like garlic, and some mixed herbs. And then all you do is roll out your dough, get a nice big blob of butter. Make sure it's nice and soft, otherwise you will have trouble spreading it. And then spread over the top of your dough, just like that. And then cook it the same way as you cooked your pizza. You might need to give it a little less time. So again, just keep an eye on it and you will have very delicious garlic pizza base bread to eat.